What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NY Phenom. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some gaming content soon, give this video a like, and if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Let's get into this video. Let's get into these AFC predictions, man. Let's get into these AFC conference standings, and I'm not going to talk your heads off. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's jump into it, man. As you guys can tell, we're going to start off with the AFC East. Let's start with this. Patriots are winning it. No surprise. I mean, they've been ruling the AFC East for the past decade and probably for the past 2 decades, ever since I've been alive, honestly. So it's the Patriots. Is there some teams that I think that can possibly make it tough for the Patriots? I mean, maybe. I mean, as you guys can see, the Bills 8-8. I think the Bills, I see them starting off strong. I believe I have them starting off 4-0, but midway through the season they're going to kind of regress a bit. I expect Josh Allen to have a pretty good season, right? I expect him to have a second-year leap. The running back situation, of course, is looking good right now. I think some people even thought that Devin Singletary might win the starting position. I think it's going to be a running back by committee for throughout the entire season, because I think all 3 running backs in Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, and Sean McCoy can all put in major work, and you can't forget about TJ Yeldon. The Jets were a team that was actually kind of big on in the beginning of the offseason, but throughout the offseason, throughout training camp, and in preseason, it's hard to put them up there, man. And it's not really about the team, because their team has talent. Sam Darnold has been looking good in preseason. Of course, they brought in Le'Veon Bell, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Brought in my main man, CJ Mosley. Shout out to him, one of my favorite linebackers in the game. But Avery Williamson dealt. He has a torn ACL, man. Of course, that sucks, because of course he plays a huge part of defense at the linebacker position. And like I said, the schedule is just tough, man. The schedule is tough. Their schedule is awful, especially in the beginning. Their first 7 games it's just horrendous, man. So I think they're gonna be a better team than what the record says. But the Jets are 5-11, Dolphins 4-12. Honestly, I think that's me being nice to them. I feel I'm just being nice to them. Honestly, if we're talking about least skilled teams, I think the Miami Dolphins would be the worst skilled team. That just is what it is. But I think the Miami Dolphins, they're going to play with a lot of heart. They got their new head coach, Brian Flores, who's already causing some mess, man. What's up? I'm not going to speak about the Jay-Z situation and all, but they're dealing with something. But I expect the team to play with a lot of heart, especially the defense. I expect their secondary to make secondary players like Xavier Howard and Rashad Jones and Fitzpatrick to make plays. The quarterback situation, we'll see how that plays out. But I had them at 4-12. But the AFC East is going to be the Patriots, 12-4. They're going to win it, and they're just going to run things down. Let's move to the AFC North, where things get a little bit. This is going to be a lot of fun. As you guys can tell, I had the Steelers at 11-5. Yes, I had the Steelers winning the division, man. I do. I just do, man. And I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash because, of course, the Steelers, they lost Antonio Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Le'Veon Bell is not there. They didn't have Le'Veon Bell last year, so I don't think that's going to be that big of a loss, even though Le'Veon Bell is one of the best running backs in the NFL. But you still got Big Ben. You got a proven Super Bowl winning head coach in Mike Tomlin, right? I expect his defense to be a lot better with getting an inside linebacker like Devin Bush. That's going to be huge. And I still like this. I still like this team, man. The Steelers are known for making wide receivers. Now, I don't feel like they made Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown. There's no other way you can spell it. But You know, you still got Juju. You still have, they brought in Dante Moncrief, right? I expect him to be that second receiver. You got James Washington, who's been showing out in training camp. You expect a second-year leap for him. And, you know, they got players like Dante Jones, who I believe is a rookie also. And he's already been making good impressions. So, and you still got Vince McDonald, who's going to be a fantasy football stud. And by the way, fantasy football news, I'm about to get that rolling. I'm about to get that rolling soon. But, yeah, I got the Steelers at 1. 2 Ravens. I have the Ravens as the number 2 seed. You know, I had them squeaking in as a wild card. This team is so hard to judge, man. This is like one of the hardest teams to, you know, predict because there's no telling how this team could be. I mean, we know that they're going to change the offense. That's been the big talk, is this offense is going to be completely different. You know, who knows how Lamar Jackson is going to play. I've seen people, I mean, the takes of Lamar Jackson are just wild because everybody has their own opinion about Lamar Jackson. I've heard people feel that he might not even be the starting quarterback for that much longer. I heard takes from that. I heard takes from where he might put up 50 touchdowns this year. It's just so hard to predict. I expect Lamar Jackson to be a little bit of a better passer than when he was. I mean, he's showing some plays even in preseason where he's been making good plays in the pocket. Of course, he's going to do his thing running the ball. You brought in a Mark Ingram. You got 2 rookie wide receivers that can make an impact in Marquise Brown and Miles Boykin. Willie Snead is still there. So, I mean, you got some talent. The tight end position is young. You got a decent offensive line, pretty good offensive line. And this defense is where, you know, I think their defense, and more importantly, their secondary is going to win them some games, man. Personally, if you ask me at this moment, the Ravens have the best secondary at the moment. I'll speak more about why I feel about that, but you know, they just do. Bring in someone like Earl Thomas, right? I know they lost Eric Weddle, but Earl Thomas, when healthy, is possibly the best safety in the NFL. Trust me, as a Seahawks fan, I know that for sure. You got Thomas Jefferson on the other side of him. You got Jimmy Smith, who's been some trade talks, but I expect him to be on the Ravens, for the upcoming season. You got Marlon Humphrey. I know they lost Tavon Young, who's a great slot cornerback for most of the season. And I believe he's going to be out for the entire season. But you still got Brandon Carr who can play that role. So this secondary is just elite, man. It just is. So I'm expecting the Ravens to win 9 games this year. All right, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash from this because this is everybody's favorite team in the all season, but I had the Cleveland Browns finishing 3rd in the AFC North at 7-9. Is this team is more talented? Is this team a playoff talented team? Yeah, they are. There's no doubt about that. They honestly, if you asking most talented team in the entire division, yeah, it's probably the Browns. But look, man, I'm just one of these people that have to see it to believe it. And have they been looking pretty good in the preseason? Was that first drive spectacular in the preseason? Yes. Right, Baker Mayfield, you know, he's talking a lot of mess right now, but, you know, he had a really good rookie season. He's been backing up in the preseason. But, you know, I have some question marks, man. We know that they have the talent at the skill positions in the offense, having Nick Chubb. You get Kareem Hunt later on in the season. You got a star quarterback and a young star quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Odell Beckham, probably a top 5 receiver. Jarvis Landry, one of the best slot receivers in the game. You got a new Watt, tight end. I still need to know how to pronounce that guy's name. That's not how you pronounce his name, but you got the young tight end. But the offensive line, in my opinion, is shaky. I think that Anthony Ziller trade is gonna hurt more than a lot of people think. So the offensive line, in my opinion, it's just too shaky. in my opinion. Like, you guys do have some good offensive linemen there. You got two. I keep on forgetting the names in the offensive line, but you got two solid offensive linemen there. But you know, that right tackle position is a big question mark. You got the center position has been a question mark. So the offensive line kind of worries me. The depth at wide receiver, in my opinion, kind of worries me. I think you guys could have went out for a Michael Crabtree or a Dez Bryant, honestly, or even a Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, this is my thing with the Browns. You guys got Higgins, right? You guys have Callaway, who is going to serve a 4-game suspension, by the way. But, you know, the wide receiver depth, in my opinion, kind of concerns me. I mean, yes, Odell's great. Yes, Jarvis Landry is that good. But you guys are going to need some depth, man. So I wouldn't mind you guys going after someone like Kelvin Benjamin or a Dez Bryant. Talking about the defense, though, the defense is actually where I'm more excited about the Browns. Their defensive line is nasty. I mean, it's just plain disgusting. I mean, for real. You got Myles Garrett, one of the best young edge rushers in the game. I mean, let's keep it a buck. You traded for Olivier Vernon. You got the young defensive tackle inside. Keep on forgetting his name. Tough name to pronounce. You got Sheldon Richardson, a great run stopper in the middle. The linebacking core, yes, it looks kind of shaky, but you got some young names like a Christian Kirky and some other young players who might make an impact. The secondary, I mean, it has all the potential to be stout. Of course, you got Denzel Ward, who had a great rookie season last year. Demarius Randall, Morgan Burnett, TJ Carey in the slot. You drafted Greedy Williams. So this team has all the potential. I think their defense, their defense has potential to be a top 10 defense, honestly. And the more I think about it, the more that I kind of want to change my pick that the Browns are actually going to be good, because you know they have a winning defense. They do, and they have enough talent on the offense to put up enough points. So the more I think about it, I just have to see it to believe it, man. I just do. And until then, I'm gonna pick the Steelers to win the division. Let's move out to the West. Chiefs winning the division, man. Let's keep it honest. Patrick Mahomes, we know that he's the next coming, man. He really is, and he's already came. Pause. But you know, Patrick Mahomes had 50 touchdowns last year. Do I think he'll get another 50 touchdowns? I mean, it's possible, but I see more of 40 to 42 touchdowns. I see more of 42, 43 touchdowns. This offense is going to be electric. It's going to be electric. They finally know who their running back is going to be. I'll be honest with you. Like last year in the playoffs, I wasn't a big believer in them in the playoffs last year. After Kareem Hunt left, I just didn't see them being the Patriots. Now, it did come to the last. It went to overtime. The game did went to overtime, but you guys knew in the first half it was ugly. Patrick Mahomes just started going Mahomes level, and somehow they got back in the game. Just shows how great Mahomes is. But you know, now that they know who their running backs are going to be, now knowing that Damian Williams is going to be the number one running back and Carlos Hyde is going to dominate the power game, I like it. Of course, you got Tyreek Hill back. That's great. You finally got your number one receiver. Sammy Watkins is there. You drafted Nikhil Hardman. You know, you got other wide receivers. I forgot the dude's name. He was on the top of my head. His name is like Robinson, I want to say. But you got good amount of receivers with Tyreek Hill. Of course, you got who most people rank as the best tight end, Travis Kelce. You have a stout offensive line, right? Led by Mitchell Schwartz. Now, you guys did lose Mitch Morse, which I think might hurt more than what people think. But you know, overall, this offense is still going to be elite. Point blank, period, man, for real. The defense is, you know, in my opinion, this defensive line probably improved. I know a lot of people didn't like the D4 trade, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, is that D4 trade gonna hurt that much when you have someone like a Frank Clark coming in, right? You have a Chris Jones. You still got Chris Jones up the middle. You brought in Alex Okafor. You brought in a defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, changing the last year defense that was a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense. Steve Spagnuolo, of course, had a lot of success with the New York Giants, right? With that scheme. You still got similar linebackers. Now, you did lose Justin Houston, so that probably hurt, but you still got, similar linebackers that you guys have from last year. The secondary, there's some same parts there. You still got Kyle Fuller, and of course, the big acquisition was bringing in someone like Tyrann Mathieu at that safety position, who honestly, Tyrann Mathieu is just a playmaker, man. He's just a baller, man. He just gets things done. And the thing is, Tyrann Mathieu, he can line up everywhere. He can line up as safety. He can line up as the slot cornerback. He can play the box. I mean, he just plays everywhere. He's going to make plays. So I expect the Chiefs defense to be a lot better. I mean, okay, maybe a lot better might be a stretch, but I expect them to make plays. I expect them to, Steve Spagnuolo to get teams off the field on third down. I expect the Chiefs defense to be a little bit improved from last year. So if you have an improved defense from what they had last year, it's going to be scary. Yes, at the Broncos at 9-7 at the second spot. And you know what? Let me just speak at the Chargers right now, because I know Chargers fans are going to be upset if there's any Chargers fans. I mean, what happened to the Chargers, man? It's like ever since San Diego, they left San Diego. Like I never seen Chargers fans anymore. But anyway, let me speak about this. Let me speak about the Broncos and Chargers at once. Look. All right, the reason I got the Broncos at second is, personally, I like their schedule, right? I like how their schedule plays out throughout the year. And, I'm just feeling the Broncos this year. They're one of kind of my sleeper teams. Yes, I have the Broncos at 9-7 and squeaking into the playoffs in the 5th seed. I'm liking this defense, man. Of course, you bring in Vic Fangio. We know that he's been around the football game for the longest. Was a leader, the defensive coordinator for the best defense last year in the NFL in Chicago. And they got talent, man. They got talent with that. Of course, you got Von Miller, you got Bradley Chubb, you got a pretty good defensive line with that, and Derek Wolfe and some of those guys. The secondary is stout, right? Of course, you bring in someone like Kareem Jackson, Bryce Callahan, Chris Harris. I mean, the secondary is going to be nasty. You, in my opinion, finally have a winning quarterback out there in Joe Flacco. I mean, you got good talent at the running back position with Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, who, in my opinion, I expect them to split carries. I know Phillip Lindsay had an amazing season last year, but Royce Freeman is a guy who they drafted. So trust me, I expect Royce Freeman to be that dude. Emmanuel Sanders, he's come back fully healthy. You got two young wide receivers who's going to make an impact in Deshaun Hamilton and Courtland Sutton. So, I mean, you got Noah Fant. I'm just big on the Broncos this year. And plus, it's always hard to play in Denver. I expect them to be really good at home this year. Yeah, I had the Broncos in the playoffs. Let me speak why I had the Chargers not in the playoffs, though. Look, we all know what's good right now. Melvin Gordon, are we sure that he's going to play this year? Right? The more we heading into the regular season, the more that I feel that Melvin Gordon is just going to lean in with the Chargers and just decide to play without a new contract, which, like I said, won't be immediately. I expect some, later into the season when Melvin Gordon, of course, he's going to be a football player. He's going to want to help out his team, and he's just going to go out there and just play. But you guys going to miss him for like the beginning of the season, and that's going to hurt, right? Now, I know you guys have Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson. Those running backs are capable of being decent, but they're not Melvin Gordon, you know? Melvin Gordon is a Pro Bowl running back, you know? And that's going to hurt because that's going to, you know, take the pressure. That's going to take more pressure on a Keenan Allen, on a Mike Williams. And by the way, Keenan Allen is already dealing with injuries. Little tacky injuries right now, nothing major, but you know that can lead on throughout the season. Now you guys do have Hunter Henry back. That's going to be huge because we know that he's a really good tight end. Phillip Rivers, he's still he's still a really good quarterback now. Could we see a decline from Phillip Rivers? Yeah, it's possible. It looks like that arm strength is starting to decline a bit. But, you know, he's still going to probably have a really good season. And expect him to throw the ball a lot this year, especially without Melvin Gordon. Because, like I said, I don't expect Melvin Gordon to be there in the beginning of the season. Defensive-wise, we all hear about what's good with Derwin James. He's going to be out for 3 months. That sucks. And that's part of the reason why I said the Ravens had the best secondary. I kind of felt that already. Felt the Derwin James injury. But with Derwin James, you know, injured for the first 3 months, I think it's no debate now that the Ravens have the best secondary. And it's probably the Patriots at second now, honestly. But, you know, that just hurts for the Chargers because, I mean, yes, you guys have a good secondary, but Derwin James, I mean, he came in, he was an impact player as a rookie last year. Excuse me. I mean, he played a huge part of this defense, man. I mean, played the box, played deep coverage. I mean, this guy, he was amazing his rookie season. And losing him, I know you guys have some depth there. I know you guys want to tell me about Adrian Phillips and Nazir Demomar, but I mean, they're not Derwin James. You know, you guys still got a good secondary out there in Casey Hayward and Desmond King, but you know, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I mean, I like the acquisition of Thomas Davis. I really like that defensive line and Joey Bosa and Melvin Gordon is still there, but I'm just not feeling the Chargers, man. I'm just not big on the Chargers. A lot of people just feel like they're going to be a lock for the playoffs. I just don't see it, man. There's always teams that are going into the season as huge playoff contenders and they're letdowns. I'm expecting that to be the Chargers this year, honestly. And that's kind of shocking because in the beginning of the offseason, you know, that's how I felt about the Chiefs. I felt that the Chiefs are going to be a letdown team and they could be a team that possibly misses the playoffs. But how things have changed, Chiefs are going into training camp, going into the preseason, regular season, at the upwards clips. It feels like going to the training camp, going to preseason, it feels like the Chargers are slowly falling down and things are going down. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs and Broncos ahead of them. And of course I got the Raiders at 4-12. They're going to be the most entertaining 4-12 team in the NFL, honestly. I mean, we're already hearing what's good with AB. I know you guys are probably expecting a video about that, but I mean, look, there's something new every single day about AB with the helmet situation. I believe now he's showing up at practice, so everything seems like it should be situated. And it feels like, and I believe Mike Mayock and John Gruden said that he's all in now. So, you know, that's good. But I mean, still, the talent is just, Now, the offensive side, I think things could be up. Maybe Derek Carr can bounce back to his early career. The earlier seasons in his career. Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, is going to come in and be a stud at the running back position. Of course, you know AB is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. They even brought in someone like Tyrell Williams. They got some decent players on the offensive line. Got Rodney Hudson, who's one of the best centers in the game. You're brought in Richie Akinito, who, you know, a lot of mixed feelings about him. but he's going to be suspended for the first 4 games. The offense has potential, but I still think that Cook loss is going to be huge. But you got Waller there, that tight end, who a lot of people feel that's going to come in and make an impact. Really been enjoying his story. We'll see how that plays out. But the reason why I just can't get on this team and just don't think that they're ready to win right now is that defense, man. That defense. And I know they drafted Clean for real on the defensive line. And I think he has potential to be a really good defensive lineman. But it's just going to be him on that defensive line. Like, who else is going to be bringing pressure on the defensive line, honestly? Let's keep it for real. I like some of their acquisitions at the linebacker position, like Avontae Burfict and then Brandon Marshall. I'm really liking that. I really like that. 2 acquisitions right there. 2 linebackers, big, one to hit, physical. I really like it. I like the draft pick in Jonathan Abram, who has been causing a lot of mess in training camp. As a rookie, we'll see how that plays out throughout the season. Probably going to see him in a few arguments, a few situations throughout the season. We'll see how that plays out, but it seems like he wants to hit as a rookie. That's good. You brought in LaMarcus Jordan. I really like that pickup. He's been a really good stud for the Rams the past few years in the secondary, so he should bring something similar with the Oakland Raiders. But this cornerback situation, man, who are they going to cover? Who are the Raiders going to cover? For real, you got two really good safeties in my opinion, but none of these cornerbacks going to cover any Tyreek Hills, any Emmanuel Sanders, any Keenan Allen's or Mike Williams. It's going to be ugly. So I don't expect the Raiders to come in and be a winning team, but that's my thoughts. I had them being 4-12. Let's keep it pushing though. Let's move to the dirty South and the AFC South. And going to when I was really going through the schedule and going through everything, I found that the AFC South, in my opinion, is probably the best division in the AFC. And I didn't really think that before. I really thought about it. I was thinking about the AFC North, the AFC West, were like 2 divisions where I was like, yo, those divisions they're super talented. But the AFC South, man, let's speak about it. Yes, I had the Titans as 12-4, winning the AFC South. I do. I really do, man. And yeah, that's probably my sleeper team. And I'm gonna roll with it, man. You guys know how big I am on Derrick Henry this upcoming season. He is my fantasy football sleeper. Not in terms people don't know who Derrick Henry is. A lot of people know who Derrick Henry is, but I don't think people realize how many carries this guy's going to get and how productive this guy's going to be throughout the season. I have Derrick Henry as a possible offensive player of the year. I'm that huge on Derrick Henry this year. Marcus Mariota is a contract year. I feel Marcus Mariota is going to have his best season in his entire career. Of course, he's been struggling in training camp. I remember the first training, I believe, it was before training camp. I believe it was like OTAs. The first report on Marcus Mariota was like, he had a terrible first showing on OTAs. But I'm expecting Marcus Mariota to have his best season. They even got the backup of Ryan Tannehill, who's a starting caliber quarterback for most teams. This team is so talented and stacked, and everything is situated at the right time. You have another good running back who can play that spell back, that third down running back position in Dion Lewis. You have decent wide receivers when it comes to Corey Davis. You drafted A.J. Brown. You brought in Alec Humphreys to run the slot. Delanie Walker, he's coming back from injury. I don't think a lot of people realize that Delanie Walker was injured after the first game of the season last year. We know that he's one of the best tight ends when healthy. This offensive line is actually really solid when healthy. Now, something that could derail this team and could, make my Titans prediction invalid would be the Taylor Lewan suspension. Now, it seems like he's going to be suspended for the first 4 games. I heard that it could get appealed. We're going to need to see how that plays out, because Taylor Lewan, of course, is going to play a huge part of this team. I mean, he has the past few years at that tackle position. So hopefully, for my sake, for my prediction's sake, he's not going to be suspended at all. They even brought in somebody like Roger Saffold, who's been an underrated guard for the Rams the past few years, has played a huge part of the running game in LA. He's going to come in and help the running game in Tennessee, and is just going to open lanes for Derrick Henry up the middle. Defensive-wise, this defense, man, of course you got the defensive mind from the Patriots as their head coach. I'm bugging. Don't think about that. But you got Mike Vrabel there. This secondary, I expect the secondary to make plays, man. Malcolm Butler, Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Kenny Vaccaro, Kevin Lombard. This is one of the most underrated secondaries in the entire NFL. I mean, it really is. I expect some of these linebackers to step up. You got one of the best underrated defensive linemen, Jarrell Casey. Always been great at running, at stopping the run. Has great awareness. I'm just big on the Titans, man. I am. I expect them to be hungry this year. I really do. I feel that they're one of the most slept-on teams, and they're my sleeper team for this year. So they're gonna win the division, in my opinion, at 12-4. At the Jaguars at 8-7-1. Yes, I had them as a tie game. That's why they had the 1 at that last one. This team has potential to be a team that wins the entire division. Nick Foles, they replaced Blake Bortles with Nick Foles. Of course, there's a huge difference in the 2 quarterbacks, so that's going to play a huge part itself. I have Leonard Fournette having somewhat of a year that I expect Derrick Henry to have, where I expect him to have a bounce back year himself. I expect him to have a similar season, a similar year to what his rookie season was, where he was one of the best rushing running backs in the NFL. He could even have a year better than his rookie year. I'm that big on Leonard Fournette this year. They have a good offensive line. The wide receiver position seems kind of streaky. Somebody needs to emerge as their number 1 receiver. You got D.D. Westbrook, Keenan Cole, some other young receivers there. The tight end position is going to be interesting. I believe they got Josh Oliver there and some other veteran tight ends. Defensive side, though, man, that's what we really want to see. We know about Calais Campbell, Anugua. I believe he's back on the team now, ready to play. I believe he's done holding out, so that's going to be huge. You got some inside presence there. Of course, you guys drafted Josh Allen as the edge rusher. I believe he was ranked as one of the best edge rushers, or the best edge rusher in the draft. And he's going to come in and make a immediate impact there. Of course, Telvin Smith, he's going to be out for the entire season. Of course, that's going to stain. But you guys have Josh Allen there. Of course, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, one of the best cornerback duos you can get in the NFL. Your safety position, in my opinion, kind of worries me because there's no more Tashawn Gibson. They took some of the veterans out there, but they have Harrison there, some other young players. But the quarterback position is set with Jalen Ramsey and AJ Boye. And look, this is my thing with the Jaguars. We see what they can do with a quarterback like Blake Bortles. That 2017 year where Blake Bortles was just a solid quarterback, they made it all the way to the AFC Championship game. Last year, Blake Bortles, came back to earth when the team struggled. Now, if they just get a solid Nick Foles, this team could be really dangerous. So I had them as the second seed in the AFC South. The Colts. Yeah, I had the Colts at third. In the AFC South. And, going into my predictions, I wasn't really predicting that. I mean, all throughout the team previews and everything going on. And by the way, I know a lot of people are going to say when it comes to team previews, well, you had this team ranked as a tier 2 team, and the other team you had ranked above them was like a tier 3, tier 4 team. Yeah, that worked. Sometimes, yeah, that's how I felt. But one thing, that some of those team previews are like months ago, right? And another thing is, yeah, a team might be better than a particular team, but you got to check how things play out throughout the season, how the schedule is made, how many teams are when our team's going to get hot at the right time. So you got to put all that in perspective. So it's not always about which team is skillfully better. It's how some things play out throughout the season. So that's one thing to keep in perspective. But the Colts at, third. I've been saying that the Colts are going to squeak into the playoffs this entire offseason, but like I said, going through the schedule and seeing how things play out, I don't see them making the playoffs. And a bigger part, and one of the bigger reasons why I see them missing out, is because of this injury luck mess. I hate to see it, man, but Andrew Luck is honestly, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, and to see him dealing with these nagging injuries, these little Achilles, these little foot injuries, it's not what you want to see, man. It's not. Excuse me. It's not what you want to see. Andrew Luck is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL, and you hate to see it, and it's just not what you want to see, man. Of course, Jacoby Brissett is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL, but he's not no Andrew Luck. And they're going to need Andrew Luck to be as best to win the division, man, to make it to the playoffs. This team is solid all around. The running back position might seem a little bit sketchy. You got Marlon Mack, Nikhil Hollins. It's going to be a running back combo of them. I like the wide receiver position, honestly. T.Y. Hilton has shown that he's that dude. They brought in Devin Funchess. I like that pickup a lot. Paris Campbell in the draft to run that slot, a speedy slot receiver. You have to like that. You have to like Jack Doyle coming back as the tight end. Of course, he's going to play huge. Really good blocker. A really good tight end. Eric Ebron, of course, was a fantasy monster last year. Red zone machine. You got one of the best offensive lines in the NFL led by Quentin Nelson. So, look. Would it shock me if this is a playoff team? No, it wouldn't shock me at all, because I've been saying this for the longest, that the Colts are a playoff team. But, just seeing how the schedule plays out and being in a tough division that they're in, I just had them missing on the playoffs. And we can't forget about this defense. This defense is solid in itself. I like the pickup in Justin Houston. I was huge on that. You still got Jaquil Shurd on the defensive line. You had the defensive rookie of the year last year in Darius Leonard, who's a stud. I like the Walker kid. He can really tackle. You have a really solid secondary. You got Kenny Moore running the slot. You got Malik Hooker, who a lot of people are going to feel that's going to come in and have a huge season. You have talent, and the thing is, it's really not many big names on the defense, but they all play together. That was the thing last year. They all played together. Everybody knew their role, and they all did things the right way and got teams off the field. So that's things that you like. And all this sounds good, right? All this sounds good. It feels like they could have a similar season to what they had last year and possibly become a championship contender. But I'm gonna just say one thing, man. This division is tough. And you know, with this injury luck health, how this injury luck health is playing out right now, it's just I just can't put him. I can't put him up there, man. I can't put him at 10 wins, man. I just can't put him at 10, 11 wins. They're sitting at 8-8 in my opinion. I wouldn't be shocked if they win the division, go out and represent the AFC, in the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't be shocked. They're that good. 14 AFC South, yes, I have the Texans at 5-11. And yeah, I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash from Houston in this one. Fuck it, it is what it is. Come at me, come and get me, like my man Jay-Z said. You know, look, I love me some Deshaun Watson. I really do. I know it doesn't seem like that. With me having them ranked as 5-11. But I love me some Deshaun Watson. I love me some Denard Hopkins. I think he's one of the best wide receivers, and maybe he is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, this guy catches everything. But I'm gonna say one thing, man. First thing first, you guys don't have a GM. You guys don't have a full leader in your front office. That's never good. That's never good. A lot of things can pop off that you don't want to pop off. Second thing, your offensive line. Your offensive line, and maybe that should be the first thing, because that's the most important thing. Deshaun Watson, he had a great season last year, but he got killed, man. He got killed. How many times he gets sacked? He got sacked like, what was it, 60 times? 50, 55, 58, 60 times? I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, at a point, I just felt bad for Deshaun Watson. And at times, I could care less about quarterbacks because they get too much love anyway. But, you know, I felt bad for Deshaun Watson. I really did. I mean, dude was getting killed out there. And yes, I know you guys drafted the tackle, but I'm gonna be real with you guys. Reading research and doing my research on the Texans, it seems like he might not even start this year. He doesn't even seem to come in and be the week 1 starter, and he might not even produce year 1. Excuse me. So the similar O-line from last year is gonna come in and be the same O-line from this year. So you having a similar O-line from last year who got Deshaun Watson killed last year, which, by the way, Deshaun Watson had an amazing season last year. He really did. This shows how great Deshaun Watson is. But that's the one thing itself. And then another thing, where's the depth at? You got stars. You got Deshaun Watson. You have Hopkins. But who's the other threats beside Hopkins? I mean, for real, where's the threats coming from? I know you guys are having Will Fuller. I know Will Fuller is coming back as a deep threat. But he's coming back from a torn ACL. And, you know, players who come back from injury like that, like a torn ACL, especially deep threats, deep threat guys who will rely on their athleticism to get past the defense. How is that going to affect them, especially their first year coming back? I just don't see him coming back and have the same production that he had in 2017. So I'm not expecting him to really have a huge threat this upcoming year. Kiki Okute, we'll have to see. I know he's been showing out a bit in training camp. We'll see how that plays out. Want to see some more from him. The running back situation, Lamar Miller is solid. Excuse me, he's a solid running back, but I don't know if he's really that guy. Duke Johnson, I like that trade. You guys, need more threats, and I guess Duke Johnson can play the spellback position. He's versatile. He can line up at receiver, slot receiver position. He can line up everywhere on the field. That's great and all. But you guys really don't have any threats besides, Hopkins. I mean, don't even get me started on the tight end position. Is Darren Fells your certain tight end? I mean, Jordan Thomas, we'll have to see. So, now his defense, his front seven. This front seven is stout. We could be possibly talking about the best front seven in the NFL, honestly. It's up there with the best. J.J. Watt. Jadeveon Clowney. By the way, is Jadeveon Clowney going to even play this year? Is he still holding out? I don't know. I have to check up on that. But I'm not even sure Jadeveon Clowney is going to play this year. So this front seven might not be at its full potential anyway. But anyway, this even if he's playing, you got Clowney. DJ Redder is solid up the middle. You got the 4 stout linebackers. You got the linebackers in McKenzie, Nicholas. Who's the other? Who's the other 2 linebackers? You just got stout linebackers everywhere. You got the front seven is stout. The secondary is Jonathan Joseph is still in the league, I guess. Guys lost to Kareem Jackson. Guys lost to Tyrann Mathieu, right? You still got Justin Reed there. You guys Brian and Bradley Roby, but it's just something missing with this Texans team, and I expect them to be one of the teams similar to the Chargers, where it is have a regression. And look, I hate to predict injuries, and I'm not going to predict any injuries because I just don't like that. I just don't like bringing that type of energy at all because it's not good. Injuries are the worst part of sports. But look, Deshaun Watson, he played tough throughout the entire season. I mean, dude couldn't even ride on planes to games because his ribs were bruised, badly bruised. And it's hard to do that two back-to-back years. It really is. It's hard to do that two back-to-back years. And like I said, I don't want to predict injuries or anything because I love me some Deshaun Watson and I just hate injuries overall. But how this offensive line is set up, I'll be surprised if Deshaun Watson plays all 16 games. I really would, and I hope he does. I hope he can play all 16 games. I really hope everybody can play all 16 games, but I would be shocked if Deshaun Watson can play healthy throughout the entire season, or can just make it throughout the entire season. But that's just my thoughts, man. That's my thoughts about ranking team. This video has been going on for way too long. Feels like we've been at this for like an hour now. But run through the playoff season for you guys who don't know it, or haven't been paying attention. The Pats are gonna run through it 1 through 6. Yes, I had the Titans win the AFC regular season wise. I got Patriots at number 2, win the AFC East. Chiefs at 3, winning the AFC West. I had the Steelers at 4, winning the AFC North. I had the Broncos 5, squeaking in the wild card, and the Ravens at 6, squeaking in as the last wild card spot. So those are the 6 teams that are making the playoffs. Yes, I'll have my playoff predictions for another video later on. I'll probably drop a similar video to this for the NFC tomorrow. So, be looking out for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. I know I'm gonna get so much backlash for this video, but I'm gonna love it, man. I want to hear your thoughts. Just keep it respectful in the comments, and we can have a good debate. But just my thoughts, man. Just my thoughts. But if you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some gaming content soon, give this video a like, and if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. I'm the phenomenal one, and I'm out. Deuces.